Welcome back to the county seat. Our topic today is the potential relocation of the Utah State Penitentiary. There are a lot of compelling pressures for doing this, but there are a lot of problems that it brings with it. Some of them are concentrated right on the Salt Lake Valley, but some of them will actually be statewide. Joining us for this discussion is the Senate Majority Leader of the Utah State Senate, Scott Jenkins from District 20, and County Commissioner Leland Pollock from Garfield County. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today.
Good to be here.
Senator, we'll start with you. What is the main benefit of moving the penitentiary? Some people would say it's always, just you got the real estate, just rebuild and update.
Well, the main benefit would be the fact that that property is becoming kind of an IT corridor for manufacturing and companies. And it's a very valuable piece of property right in the center of developable ground. And so the benefit would be whether or not, or the question would be whether or not we should move that, and if we do, what benefits we get out of it. We've had several people come talk to us and discuss this. The economic development folks in the state, they are chomping at the bit to get their hands on a piece of property like this. It's not just where it's at, it's the fact that it's as many acres as it is. It's almost 700 acres. And that land becomes very, it could be a campus for a large IT company. There's a lot of advantages to that. And so that's what drives this.
Of course, to kind of set the stage here, the concern that the counties have is that if they're building, if you build a new facility, there's always a tendency to overbuild, and that would have an impact on contract prisoners, would it not, Leland?
It could. And obviously, we want to work with corrections. We don't want to be competitive about this. If the state so chooses to move the facility, we want to work with the state and corrections. But what we want to show, and by the way, we have hired a consulting firm, Zion's consulting firm, to get the facts out, is what we want to show more than anything through this process is what we have to offer. For example, there's about 1,700 contract county beds being used right now. That's a savings of close to $20 million a year for the state of Utah. The way I calculate that is it costs about $79 a day to house an inmate at the state prison. It costs about $47 in the county facilities. So we have an obvious cost savings. But I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a true conservative, and I'm a little bit concerned about the cost. I've heard anywhere from $600 million to upwards of $1 billion to move this facility, and I'm concerned with that as a taxpayer as well. But like I say, we don't want to turn this into a competitive situation. We trust the state, we trust their judgment, and whatever direction they go, we'll honor it.
Would there be could you address that formula as far as, I know that even rehabilitating the current campus would have some expense, but the move would have a net expense to it. How long would it take to offset that, do you think, with the new revenues that would come in from expansion?
I'm not sure we could offset those immediately. What drives this is the prison right now is built in an inefficient manner. There's different groups of prisoners incarcerated at different locations, and just through the new designs that are available, most people who are in this business think we could offset the entire cost of the relocation over a period of time, just through the savings of design. It cuts down labor, and it would help us finance that. Right now, we're getting ready to put out an RFI, and that RFI will ask for information so that we can help make those decisions.
And that's a good point. Explain for the audience what an RFI is versus an RFP.
Well, the legislation asks us to put out an RFP, a request for proposal. But in going through this, most people who are willing to bid on this are hesitant to put out an RFP, or to give us an RFP and give us their secrets, what things that they think give them an advantage. So an RFI is a request for information, more of a broad view of how they're going to do this, and at a higher level. And so we don't ask for the detail. And they feel much more comfortable coming forward and giving us that information of what they believe the savings to the state will be.
So Leland, from the county's point of view, you are most concerned that they'll, if a new facility is built, they will build in advance, as the counties have done on these jails, and you will lose your contract prisoners. What kind of impact would that have on Garfield County?
Well, it's not just Garfield County. Kane County has just barely built a $15 million facility. That is contingent upon, the funding is contingent upon beds that they have filled by state inmate contract prisoners. So, and that's just one. Beaver County, several counties are at risk if we lose our contract county inmates. So that's a huge concern. Plus there's, say for example in Garfield County, 21 jobs. In Garfield County, 21 jobs is big for us. And other counties suffer with this same issue, rural counties specifically.
And so people kind of get that impact. You know, let's say 21 jobs. Well, in Salt Lake County, people go, but your population base, what's your population in Garfield County?
We're about 5,200.
So that is
it's
a
huge
measurable
impact.
Percentage.
And that's just Garfield. You know, you could go on and on and on. But the main thing that I would like to expose through this process is what we have to offer as counties. We do have, there is the overcrowding concern. We do have beds available. There are counties that are coming forward now saying that we have beds available, that we could offer the state at this $47 per day rate. So we have a lot to offer. This, back to the consulting firm, they're going to expose all this for the lawmakers, whom we respect greatly, so they can make an educated decision on what the facts are on this move and what we have to offer now.
So listen, the counties are concerned about contract beds. We don't anticipate this will change the amount of beds we'll need in the immediate future, and even going into the long-term future. We understand that county beds are cheap, and we're not fools. We like a good price too. And so all of the prisoners, or many of the prisoners that are not high security type prisoners, we farm out to the counties, and I anticipate that won't change a whole lot.
Okay, well, that's very good. We're going to ask you to stay with us here on the county seat. Our topic today has been the relocation of the prison, the impacts it would have on the counties across the state, not just along the Wasatch Front. And we will come back and pick up the conversation where we left off. And stay with us, we'll be back.
If you ever dreamt of running through an old west town, searching for outlaws, hiding behind the stable, or inside the old church, with your six-shooter by your side, well, your dreams have come true. Castlegate Town Shooting Range is the most detailed, most realistic, and outright most fun shooting range you've ever seen. The North Springs Shooting Range.
Almost 45% of the oil produced in Utah, 7.8 million barrels, comes from Duchesne County. That oil feeds our state economy, provides job growth, and supports local business. Here in Duchesne County, we're working to make Utah an economic, cultural, and technological leader. Whether you're here for business or pleasure, Duchesne County will welcome you with open arms and invite you to explore all the beauty of the Uinta Mountains. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough to get away.
Along Interstate 70 and Highway 89 is an area that is rich with high mountain peaks, vast forests, lakes, streams, historical sites, and a climate that is perfect for outdoor adventures, no matter what the season. Whether you visit Sevier County to catch one of the many celebrations, experience a country-style county fair, or be part of various concerts, sports, or equestrian events. You will be greeted by local residents with a smile and a welcoming hand. In the center of it all, Sevier County.